Hello everybody and welcome back to the DreamHack Summer 2013 tournament. We are halfway through Group Stage 1, 32 nerds have been killed, 32 more must also be killed. How are you doing?
It's a long and grueling day. I'm doing well, thank you for
Only
asking.
halfway, just halfway through the day, just put that out there again.
Is it halfway done, or is it halfway... What is it with the glass? Full or empty?
I knew where you were going,
that?
and I knew that this wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Are we halfway done, or have we just halfway started?
I don't know. I don't think so.
How are you doing? You're a little bit sick.
I am. I think they forgot to invite me into the game. So now I'm doing even worse, now that you asked that. They did. Maybe I can just commentate off your screen, I guess.
You've got great eyesight, so you can probably see a screen right in front of us. I do know that.
I'm known for my eyesight. Yes.
You are known for your eyesight. All right, guys, we're going to be jumping into HyuN versus MorroW, a Terran versus Zerg feud, just starting in a couple of moments' time. Any words on this next map coming up?
Just that, you know, HyuN's one of the monsters of the tournament. He's a guy that has traditionally done very well. He's been carrying that Quantic squad in the all-kill format for things like the ATC. But then on the flip side, you've got MorroW, a hometown favorite, one of the better Swede players, but also it's been kind of going around that perhaps he's not playing as much as he was, or at least not getting the results he used to, where he was at the end of a lot of these tournaments.
This is true. This is true. And here is the guy that we're talking about. Down here in the bottom right, and as the Red Terran is, of course, MorroW, playing for Team Western Wolves. And his opponent down there, Quantic HyuN.
And you'll notice it's close spawns on Whirlwind, which some tournaments do, some tournaments don't. It definitely changes the dynamic. If it's bottom left versus top right, this is one of the biggest maps in the entire planet. If it's lower left versus lower right, still a big map, but very much so better for the Terran player, who can expand towards the Zerg and apply pressure almost just by proximity.
There is HyuN on your screen. Was top 8 in the last DreamHack Stockholm tournament, played on the big stage. Lost versus Liquid's Hero in the quarterfinals. But MorroW, to your point, has not performed in a while, let's say. He hasn't hit a big result in a long time. He's very hardworking still, very surprising. I mean, when I was speaking to him before this tournament, I was like, so what are you doing recently? He's like, playing 12 hours a day still. But he just, you know, hasn't got to the same level that he always used to be at.
And, you know, that's actually, like, a lot of people attribute that to, like, it's actually kind of interesting because it gets very negative. They're like, well, you even heard me. Like, my assumption was that he's not playing as much. To hear that he's playing just as much as he was, I think that speaks both to the mindset of what we kind of consider of foreigners. We just assume that if they're not winning, they're not playing as much. But also we forget that this game's getting more difficult, actually, as time goes on. It's really nice because back when MorroW was at the end of tournaments, there'd be less Koreans, but even those Koreans didn't have the Kespa counterparts or nearly the stakes that we have now with WCS, really elevating the gameplay.
And MorroW, I mean, if we just imagine that MorroW's back in top form like he used to play, he was a very intelligent player, had very specific design builds and strategies to beat out his opponents, would always look at the game in a very intelligent way. And let's see what he can do today.
Of the game.
Yeah, you could.
He's one of those weird guys who, like Noni, formerly of Team Liquid, who would sit down and be like, today I'll play against myself for 12 hours and figure out the perfect wall in. And not many people can do that, but of course that makes them better. It's just you have to be a little bit soulless to be able to do that.
Well, let's talk about Terran versus Zerg now. I mean, we have the command center down first for MorroW in his base, but the recent metagame and the way that this matchup plays out, we're going to see some roaches and banelings pretty likely, at least once, if not more, in this best of 3 series between these two players. I mean, we already see Zergling speed down. He's still mining gas. This could be, you know, incredibly early aggression.
Yeah, maybe even Ling Baneling, I would say. I think to your point, you're very right. One of the dictating factors for that is the map, and on Whirlwind, Terrans love to take those fast third command centers. Well, if you're going to try to land that, you're going to have a hell of a time defending against it because there's not, like on Aklon Waste, you know, like geographical wall-ins that help you defend against that, or narrowed choke points. On Whirlwind, you have to go down a ramp and then up a ramp, and all of a sudden your third's exposed.
A lot of discussion around, you know, Terran players. Do they build tanks? Do they build Widow Mines? And the answer, I'm sorry, guys, is you have to build Widow Mines.
You think so? Against Roach Baneling? You like Widow Mines?
The thing is what happens if he doesn't do it? You can't just open tanks.
Well, that's correct, yes.
I mean,
I would say in a perfect world, if you scout Roach Baneling, you want
Yeah.
tanks, but you usually have Widow Mines. You're right, yeah.
so it's very difficult. And, you know, when Zergling Speed is done like in this game, you aren't going to really scout this out until the very last minute, maybe. And then your Hellions are already being produced from the factory. You don't have time to pick up and switch over to build tanks. So it is a difficult situation for a lot of Terran players who are trying to figure out the best way to do things. But we do have a third command center, which has been spotted by an Overlord, as HyuN pokes in on the natural 2 to see the depot wall off with these...
And probably double engineering bay, not too far behind. I mean, that's been the build that has become the Terran cookie cutter for these days. And that's part of the reason why we're seeing a huge raise in Roach Baneling all-ins and even Ling Baneling all-ins. It's because Terrans are really, really dipping into, like, well, the metagame that was previous, which was that Zergs played Ling, Baneling, Mutalisk, which meant that they had no real form of aggression until about 10 minutes in. So you could see these triple command centers, double engineering bays. But then Zergs have now been adding in more but Roach Baneling like aggression, and that really cracks at that.
And that's what I think we could be seeing in this game, because we already have the Roach run down, a lot of gas banked up. I think he's going to build Roaches immediately, and with his second gas taken, that will allow him to put the Baneling nest down pretty much as soon as he finishes his Roach production. And MorroW has a couple of Hellions out in here. He gets one surrounded immediately. The other does take damage, but he hasn't really figured out what's going on yet. We're about to see a bunch of Roaches made, 10 Roaches in a row. He's seen the third command center. He immediately knew what he was going to do. Why would he throw down the Roach farm so early if he wasn't going to do this?
Yeah.
And now the double engineering bait comes down, as you said. There's no mines, there's no tanks, there's nothing at this point to defend it. The Baneling nest as well, it's coming.
And this is a pre-layer Roach Baneling bust, which is quite quick. I mean, it's made basically to get all the damage in against this build specifically that MorroW is doing. And I gotta say, with those early Lings repelling those Hellions, I don't know that MorroW has any idea this is coming. I mean, he's up to like 6 Hellions. If you even sniff Roaches, you're like, well, I'm switching to Marauders, I'm getting tanks out. You are not making Hellions.
Well, these Hellions in the middle of the map. The third command center has even been taken. He's moving out. He's now spotted the Roaches, and all of a sudden, Bomber's like, oh my god, oh my god.
His Marines are outside the bunker.
His Marines are outside the bunker. There's nothing really left at home.
What are they doing?
SCVs.
What are they doing at the third?
Well, at least he's buying himself some time. The Overlord even spots the Marines there, so he knows they're there. We've got 10 Banelings being morphed here, and he's about to come crashing into this natural. Additional bunkers coming down to help defend it. It's going to be difficult. There are 2 mines out, I think, or at least 2 on the way.
Maybe on the way. I don't see him there. This is not going to go well for Terran. We see the Banelings immediately crack down in that bunker. Hellions thinning out the Baneling count. The remaining Banelings don't do anything, but guess what? There's 10 uninhibited Roaches there.
There's 2 mines just by the gas. He didn't actually borrow them or use them at all. And MorroW just immediately has to evacuate his natural. Context Chung comes crashing in just like we know he would in this game.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to let you get away with something like this. 3 command center, double engineering bay. The natural command center doesn't get lifted. It's just going to get blown up and
oh my gosh.
completely destroyed here. And this is an incredibly one-sided game here. Complete annihilation from the Korean Zerg here, smashing down the Swedish Terran player, and he's in trouble.
Yeah, well,
he's dead.
I think he's in so much trouble. Game 2's in danger right now. Like, if he doesn't leave this game soon, we might count it as a double loss. Bailey's moving in here. Hellions doing what they can. Somehow those Roaches did actually disappear. That something like 6 Hellions funneling down their flame on those Roaches did a good job of getting rid of them, but to what end?
I mean, to what end? But at what cost? But at what cost in control?
At what cost?
He's down to 13 SCVs, and there's 38 drones. Even though the drone count isn't high, you can see the production tab. 11 more about to come in with double queens. He's about to shoot up to 50 drones. There's only 2 command centers. If there was 3 command centers, maybe you could say there was a hope, but losing that one on a natural disaster. And now he's about to lose a lot of these units in the middle as well here. Despite doing a lot of damage to the Zerglings, he's still losing much more than he really wants because he needs to establish this natural backup. And with that force, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, actually looking at this, it looks really bad. Somehow, if he was on 3 orbitals right now, it wouldn't be, well, I mean, yeah, he's down 40 supply. So yeah, it's still terrible. There's no real way to change that. But imagine triple Mule right now and 3 SCV production. That'd be kind of interesting.
It would be interesting, especially if he had the breathing room to throw down an armory and was able to continue with 2 upgrades. Unfortunately for that, the one advantage that MorroW has in this game, the only advantage, should I say, in this game, is the upgrades. Because he is at 1-1. He did research that 1-1. But his opponent now with +1 carapace, and I'm sure he's about to throw down his missile or melee, depending on how he wants to play this out, melee upgrade. he's going to catch up incredibly fast in this game. The other advantage, which I suppose you could say MorroW has, is he has Medivacs, but he's only going to have one out.
Yeah.
And it's not really going to do a lot because he has no units left to defend if he tries to pick up and do something. So at this point, I mean, HyuN shot all the way up to 60-odd, 60, 70 drones now. He has centrifugal hooks on the way. He's got roach speed on the way. Very weirdly, he cancelled his melee upgrade, I think, to squeeze in the roach speed and the baneling speed. You notice a little switch up there because he wants to finish this game off rather than let it extend.
He's got places to be, man.
He's got places to be.
This is the tough match for the group, so he wants to take that number 1 and then get some rest and get ready for tomorrow. I just realized he's playing someone named MorroW and he's getting ready for tomorrow. There's not really much.
You
of a
could
joke
almost
there.
say he's unstoppable.
There you go. I like that. I make a terrible pun and you make a worse one. Double Medivacs can move in here, and this is, like you said, this is the one advantage, if you can call it that MorroW has, because there is no anti-airs. Those queens take forever to kill a single Medivac. So these guys got some airtime, and HyuN can't attack right now. He can't say, you know what, with those 2 Medivacs, my queen and spine crawler will take care of that. No, you can't do that. You have to respect this.
Yeah, and well, we do have one drop making its way, and he actually bypasses the Sport Crawl. He's following the other one quite closely, and he does get a few of these units out. Roaches do come in with their roach speed coming to pick off everything quite fast here. But at the same time, MorroW's not dead, and I mean, he's in a bad position. You can look at it, 70 supply to 135. There's no doubt he's in a bad position at this point. It's just how is he going to get back in this game? He needs to take a third base. There's an Overlord being sick on that third base location. It's going to prevent the command center from coming down. There's a 4th base already down.
That's the worst part for him. Like, some maps, you can be behind an army, but because of the map, there's a possibility that you get your 3rd anyways.
Yeah.
Whirlwind, you take that 3rd by paying the iron price. Like, you have to earn it. You cannot just take it by the map. It's not a gift. So it's actually kind of funny that HyuN's pushing 4 base, because that's actually, you're supposed to kill your opponent before that happens. If your opponent's on 2 base and you take a 4th, you did it in the wrong order.
I mean, at this moment, it's almost like HyuN has a bunch of options to choose from, and he just doesn't know which one to pick. At this point, the upgrades, they've been nullified now. As we can see, 2-2 is on the way, but likewise, we do have +2 carapace and hopefully a +2 missile melee attack coming from HyuN momentarily. So, that was the only thing that MorroW had going from him now. Now he's behind in economy, behind in army value, behind in overall supply, and equal with upgrades. Yeah. So what we're going to see very shortly is just a swell of units coming out from HyuN. He hasn't even started his hive yet, or even got an infestation pit, should I say. Well, so he's just on layer tech, and he's coming for the kill.
I mean, I would love to see MorroW try to hold that 3rd. I think it's nice that he's even tickling the idea. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take a 3rd because I feel like I have to. The drops are becoming less effective as time goes on. Like, it would be very different if the drops got in and got any damage at all. But they just got the perception of damage, which slowed down HyuN, which is, I guess, why we see that 4th. But otherwise, they've done nothing. So this drop, okay, you killed like a roach, and now it's going to fly back. Nothing earned. It's not a big win.
So if we were to look at the probability for MorroW winning this game, I'd put it quite low at 5% or maybe less. But the way that he could do it with that percentage is just somehow, through drops and also establishing his 3rd base.
Sure.
For every couple of seconds, minutes that he has this 3rd base, he's catching back up in supply, and the gap is starting to narrow, 130 to 199. And what HyuN's going to do to end this game, as you can see, make a ton of banelings.
Was it like 50?
He's got, let me tell you exactly, 59.
Ah, okay.
Close. And he's coming to end this with a bang and a wallop.
I'm just glad he didn't make 60, because everyone knows 60 is a dumb number of
60 is a dumb number. It's either 59 or 61. You don't get 60. So
way too even.
Way too even.
All right.
Here he comes.
This is the A move of death. And the Widow Mines are doing ridiculous damage, but I just don't think HyuN cares.
Yeah, I don't think he cares at all. He comes crashing through here. MorroW can try to micro as much as he wants, but these Marines are destined to die to goo and green stuff as the Marine squad completely annihilated and pushed off this game.
Yeah.
As we're about to have game number 1 go in favor of HyuN, who picks up that 3rd base or forces the pickup, and is going to go all the way to the natural with this Roach army. But it seems that it cannot be stopped here, and it cannot be. So GG called, and MorroW does drop the game number 1. HyuN picks up that game number 1. We will be going to game number 2. There is the handsome devil himself. Round of 8 last time, quarterfinalist at the DreamHack Stockholm tournament, just a month or two back. It was, I think, a couple of months back in April.
It was a couple months. Yeah.
April, and looking for some revenge victory coming to the later stages of this tournament.
It's fun. Have you ever seen the third Matrix? Did you make it past the second one and see the third one?
I watched all three.
So
I got the trilogy back at home somewhere.
There you go. That last battle reminded me of the third Matrix, where they sent one of those Whoopi Goldberg robots for every man, woman, and child that existed in that city. That's what those banelings were. It's a very HyuN-like thing to do. He's like, you know what? Since you didn't leave this game just yet, for every one of your units, I'm going to make a baneling. And then he sent them in.
And that's not a good ratio, unfortunately.
Not if you're No, it's not.
Not if you great if
it's
you
great
do,
for sure.
clearly.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
We did see MorroW on screen as well there, looking very concentrated as he thinks what to do next. And the thing, I spoke with him before, and he knew that, you know, between these two players, if we look at the group they're actually in, it's group number 23. There's two other players within the group. There's a Dutch Zerg player by the name of Jonah. If I said that right, I'm sorry if I didn't. And another Zerg player from Sweden, younger.
No, I don't know. Don't trust me.
And there's another Zerg player from Sweden. You like this name? Apples in.
Go on.
Juic?
Where is it? I'll help you.
There.
Oh, with
Apples
my eyes,
in
it, just
Juic. It looks like apple juice.
to me, it looked like Armageddon from here.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
It is
Apples and
Armageddon.
juice.
Is apple juice or Armageddon? I'm not too sure which one, but
Apples in juice, and he misspelled juice terribly.
it's misspelled, but it is apple juice. It's not Swedish for Armageddon.
Even in Swedish, they don't spell juice Juiec.
It's misspelled ID.
No. Yeah.
But either way, back to the point, is that HyuN and MorroW are the two players to advance from this group. Depending on how the group goes, they're expected to beat these Apple in Juice and Jonah, or Jonah, as you'd like to say, because they are the relatively unknowns coming into such a prestigious tournament here, such as DreamHack. Upsets can happen. It is StarCraft. Anything is possible. But if we look at how it should play out, HyuN and MorroW should be first and second. So depending on how this game goes, it will help out the seeds going into group stage 2. But if MorroW does drop this first game in the group stage, it obviously doesn't mean he's out.
Day one, this is kind of how it goes usually. There's sometimes that one odd group that has 3 really good players, so someone does get sent home on day one. But usually it's like this, where it's like, okay, these two guys are playing their dream, like it's cool if they win, but they probably won't. And then the pro gamers are probably going to advance. And that's okay. Like, I prefer it that way than DreamHack being like, I don't know. That's kind of the spirit of DreamHack. I like that about this. I don't know that we could find 128 of the absolute top pro gamers and have them in this group. I don't know.
The opportunist tournament.
There you go. I like that.
DreamHack. Anyone can be a winner here at DreamHack.
I'm drinking my tea, by the way. This is very British.
Guys, is it tea? Do you know what type of tea? Did you look?
Blueberries.
Blueberry tea.
And I broke the sack, so it's actually... I think I'm doing this wrong. I think I'm drinking the contents of tea, which you're not supposed to do. It's like you're supposed to drink the bathwater of the tea. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. We don't drink blueberry tea very often, though. Let's put that out there.
You guys don't have blueberries in Britain?
Well, we do like blueberries, but not in tea. Blueberry muffins are great. I love blueberry muffins. Maybe blueberry strawberries as well. The crowd love blueberry muffins, especially those League of Legends guys. But blueberry tea is a different... I mean, the closest thing to proper tea you may know is like breakfast tea, Earl Grey tea, those kind of tea.
There's a breakfast tea? What does it make it? Is there maple syrup in it, or what does that do? Why is it breakfast tea?
You have it between the time of 5
What's your
and 9
dinner
a.m.
tea? What's your dinner tea like? Is there bacon
Dinner
in it?
tea? All dinner tea is a little bit of a different taste, a little bit sharper, and you have to have it between 5 and 7 p.m.
Yeah, okay. I believe that.
Otherwise, it becomes afternoon tea.
Or if you're in Spain, their dinner tea is served at like 9 or 10 p.m.
I think they just have dinner wine
That's true. They only do drink wine.
in Spain. But there you did see a couple of crowd shots from the guys behind the players. Players are not too far away from where we are.
You know, one shout out I wanted to give too, since we're absolutely stalling right now, which is clearly what we're doing.
Who? Is me?
Well, yeah.
No, thanks, mate.
But
Thanks,
I was
mate.
actually going to say it's kind of cool that at DreamHack, there's a lot of community streams as well, actually. So I do
Yes.
know that like Axel Toss is commentating. I believe the NASL guys might be contributing. And there's a few others, and just big shout out to them, and it's really awesome that DreamHack is open to making this such an accessible tournament, not only for those people we talked about that aren't the pro gamers that are playing in this. Is that Robert not wearing a onesie? In the pink
Wait a minute. Wait a
shirt.
minute. You did not get 3,000 retweets to wear a pink T-shirt, Robert Olin. Robert Olin. That is not a DreamHack onesie.
I see more than one clothing of article on you.
You can't flip us.
You cannot request 3,000 retweets or 1,000 and get 3,000 and then change halfway through the day. We're halfway through our StarCraft games, and now he's wearing a pink T-shirt.
He says, well, now you're dying of a lack of fashion. Oh, don't do that. Don't move like that.
The DH boss does what he wants.
He does.
He does do what he wants.
And a lot of time he should do what other people want.
You know, I'm looking in the chat. You see that Hellspawn? That's what I'm. You know the Hellspawn one, Mr. Olin?
Is there a face for Hellspawn now?
There is. Have you not seen it? It's a great little picture of Hellspawn with his finger down like this.
Oh, okay.
See it? Can you see? I don't know if you can see from this distance.
It looks like Armageddon, but yeah, I can see it.
All right, so it looks like we are now kind of loaded into the game, and we will be jumping into this momentarily. I don't know if it's going to bug out or not. Looks like 2 observers or something maybe made a mistake.
I think it's moving along. But this is a good time to let you guys know as well that I have the honor and opportunity to be commentating with Apollo for the next 3 best of 3s. And then to finish out the day, Apollo will be rejoined by Nathanius.
That's right.
And that will end today. And then tomorrow, we have 2 more group stages.
Yep.
And that's going to be the entirety of StarCraft for tomorrow.
Yeah, group stage 2 and 3. And, currently we started today with 128 players. You can see some of the players now getting ready or even playing at this point. 128 players. By the end of today, we'll have 64 spread across the group stage 2. And then by the end of tomorrow, we'll be down to 16 players. We've already lost 32 players today in the first half of the group stages. We're about to lose another 32. Of course, 32 do advance on the flip side of things. And so far, looking at results, pretty expected when it comes to pro players versus amateurs. Kind of expected at day 1 of DreamHack, always the same.
Debu and his group ending up in a 3-way tie where he did advance. I think it's about as close to an upset as we'd get because he's quite good. You were telling me he's not playing quite as frequently, but in the past he was not in like the top 10 of European Zergs, but he was one of the grandmaster, pretty good European Zergs that you'd see it in tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, an incredible good player back in the day. Very aggressive, actually. He was one of those Baneling lovers.
Liked the Lings and he liked the Banelings.
Oh, dear,
a lot of those things.
That didn't happen, sorry. Hold on. Drop my little box. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on. Players are not ready. I think we might have to leave this thing. Yeah, all right. So it looks like we need to remake the game, so we'll get that down for you in a moment. So if you were, because I've asked you this a couple of times while we're casting, if you were Coach Robinson, I was going to say control, but I prefer Robinson. If you're Coach Robinson and you're standing behind MorroW and you've just seen how HyuN plays, you know he's a very good player, what would be the couple of sentences you would say to MorroW to encourage him to hopefully pick up the tiebreaker game in this next map?
That's fantastic. So what you just asked is great. I'm going to break it down into 3 words.
Yep.
2 racks, Hellbats.
That doesn't make sense when you put these together, though.
Well, it's game 2 and 3.
Oh.
Game 3 should 2 racks, game 3 should Hellbats.
Okay, I get you. So 2 racks this map, and then Hellbats on the previous map.
MorroW does have great 2 racks, actually. It's something he's gone to in the past.
He does have a great set of racks, 2 racks.
I don't know why it ever went away, by the way. Like, obviously on Whirlwind, you're not going to 2 racks because it's a 4-player possible map, so you're not going to see that nearly as much. But on Akalon Wastes, you know where he's at.
You do.
2 racks. 2 racks it. That's
We'll
the 2 rack stance.
The 2 racks dance.
Do it with me. Do it with me. Ready?
Show me
2
what it
racks.
is. 2 racks. Got it. I got it. I didn't do it as good as you, though.
I use that dance for everything, though. It's the 2 rack stance, but it's
2
the
gates.
Yeah.
Cannon rush.
The Queen's attacking the Overlord.
All right, we're into the game, or at least loading in. Thank you for bearing with me and iNcontroL and our terrible jokes as we move on to map number 2 between MorroW and, of course, this guy up in the top left. I should wait for the introduction, shouldn't I, really? Up here in the top left is, of course, the Red Zerg quarterfinalist of the last DreamHack event. It is Quantix HyuN.
A dangerous devil, that one. There he is.
Really nice guy, by the way. I didn't know that. He's a jokester. He likes to have fun.
His English is pretty good too.
It is. It's really good.
And down here, of course, from Western Wolves is your Swede. It is MorroW. A lot of Swedish players here, a lot of Korean players here. I think that's going to be the moral of the story this weekend, especially with the big dogs like Life and Gumiho and Thorzane and Naniwa here.
Naniwa taking second place at the DreamHack Stockholm Open. Fantastic finish. Had a great series against Lenok. He's got all eyes on him here. He's kind of the the big Swedish hope, if you will. But of course, Thorzane also performs very well inside Sweden, so there's always the possibility for him to break out. And then sort of, like you said, cleaned out his group quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at Zerg players, especially from Sweden, Sortov is that number one. Like, he's absolutely number one Zerg player.
Sure.
And we'll see how well he does at this tournament. He's up there, you know, top 3 Terran, of course Thorzane and Naniwa, then you'd probably say Sortov. But looking into this game, we do not have a 2-Rex coming down. We will be looking for a command center first, once again by MorroW, and he will be probably throwing it on the high ground, doesn't want to take any unnecessary precautions. But look at the adaptation from HyuN, from this game to the previous one, or should I say the previous one to this one?
Yeah.
A drone scout. If he had gone 2-Rex, he would have gone and been like, okay. Would have scouted it, basically. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh. He might go 3 hatch before spawning pool, too, right? Oh, gas. Also a great choice.
Yeah, 3 hatch. To be honest, I really rarely go 3 hatch when I see command center first when I play.
How come?
Because I just don't do it. I just my brain just automatically, all right, take spawn and pull, take extractor, or go 4, 6 queens or something like that. I have very rarely experimented with 3 hatcheries, so my comments on it would be really weak, actually, if I was to explain the strengths and weaknesses of it against command center first. But I think that one of the biggest problems with it is that when you go just, theory of crafting, if you go hatchery first, you're going to delay spawn and pull, delay queens, delay gas.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're going to have rather late speed, and if he opens up command center first, he still can have relatively early Hellions, if not Widow Mines as well, a variation of units, which you could end up just losing the advantage you gain from going 3 hatchery first if you lose drones or queens.
Very good point. I think it's map dependent. On this map, you don't want to take the 3rd past the rocks, and if you did take the 3rd below the natural, that's when the issue that you brought up becomes very apparent. Like, Hellions would start to get some damaging because queens can't possibly cover both the natural and the 3rd from there.
Okay then, mate. Okay.
I'm trying. I've never had this problem. I always like, whenever a commentator's like, I've got the sniffles, my commentary's not as good. I'm always like, man up, child. But now I'm sitting here with those sniffles. It's tough.
And it sucks. All right, so we do have a bit of mind game, a bit of strategy. Complicated, if not simple play from HyuN, depends how you want to look at it. Got Zergling speed, and then cancelled it, and then threw down a Roach Warren. He's going to build some incredibly fast Roaches here, and just try to topple his opponent. He will build a massive amount of drones behind this. It's not like an all-in, but it's a build that is designed to kill a lot of SCVs very, very fast.
Well, I like it because Terrans don't naturally go, okay, I've expanded, time to get my 5 Marauders, or even Widow Mines. They don't do that either. Hellions give you that map control that you need, because look up until this point, MorroW has very limited information. Terran can't send Marines out. It's either Reaper or a Hellion, and if you go command center first, it's not Reaper, it's got to be Hellion.
Surprising choice of 3rd command center location, actually. If we have a quick look at his 3rd command center, imagine if Binner just up north and actually created a wall. If it created a wall here, he could have very easily repaired these bunkers. The bunker probably would have taken damage, and likewise SCVs behind it too, but he's opted to try and get supply depots down. He will just about make the wall off complete, but these roaches are coming in fast. These supply depots may not finish.
Yeah. This is a crap ton of roaches, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, he's built 12 roaches in total.
That's a lot. And I don't think there'll be a Baneling nest behind this. No, we even see drones, so it's these 12 roaches on an island by themselves, but quite frankly, the game might end right here. There's just now a Marauder coming out, but otherwise it's a half-assed bunker with 2 Hellions.
Yeah, he's going to have to try to hold the wall tight here with some SCVs repairing it, but if he does that, then he's going to lose a lot of SCVs in return here. So let's see if he can make the defense possible. HyuN comes in, targeting down the bunker. The bunker falls straight away. 2 Marines running back, running home. And these roaches, oh dearie me, he's getting up the ramp too. There's no wall off here. He needed to hold that wall down the bottom. or he could repair in. Now he's not only going to lose SCVs, as you said, he could actually just lose the game too.
I think it might happen. And it's actually funny because right now HyuN is actually making more units completely reactionary to what he's finding out. He's like, wait, I guess I just make more roaches to try to end this game? Because otherwise he was droning behind this, just anticipating doing SCV damage like you pointed out. But right now he's looking down the barrel of game-ending damage.
Yeah, look, GG called.
Wow.
HyuN picks up a very, very swift 2-0 over Western Wolves' MorroW. And there he is. Very fast game there. And he moves on to play map number 2 and 3 against some players not quite at the same skill level, and HyuN definitely looking to advance in first place in his group. And does it in convincing fashion here at the DreamHack Open.
Convincing fashion to say the least. Like game number 1, he kind of brutalized MorroW early on, and MorroW, having like the heart of a lion, fought on, clearly behind the entire time. This time he got brutalized so bad he actually didn't have the ability to fight on with the heart of a lion. He died with the heart of a gazelle.
Heart of a gazelle.
The heart of a gazelle.
Lying down, unfortunately. We did see StarTel live there as well, sitting next to HyuN. He will be. I don't think he's playing any games today on this stage.
I was going to say, yeah.
But he will be playing on some other streams. Of course, you mentioned the community streams. You can go check out, find where he's playing. But live definitely is going to be one of these big dogs that comes out to play tomorrow when the competition really steps up.
He's the favorite. Would you agree?
Absolutely, like definitely one of the favorites to take the entire of the tournament. There's one reason he's here. He didn't come here to get second place.
He's the favorite is what I'm saying. I think he is.
Okay. I think
if there was like a Leenock, like Gumio's a very top class Terran as well, but it's
Life. Okay, I'll agree with you. I think Life's going to be the favorite to win the tournament, but there are people to challenge him to win the tournament, such as, in my opinion, I strongly believe that Lucifron's going to do very well at this tournament. Gumiho, as you said, and you got Tejas here as well to challenge that title.
Jadon is very dangerous ZVZ, by the way. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, Jadon could be one of StarTel Life HyuN's weaknesses in the future of the tournament, but we'll see. We will be having a winner's interview momentarily with HyuN, get some extra words from him with Take, and we'll be going into that in a moment. Before we do go into that, our next map coming up on this stream is going to be Millennium's Feast versus ESC Goody. Haven't seen Goody play in quite a while now, so I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And likewise, Feast, the young individual, young guy.
Should be great. I think it's nice to see World of Tanks booth over there, but soon we'll see some World of Tanks here with Goody playing, man. The guy likes the tanks.
He does like the tanks. Hopefully he brings them. I don't know if he'll bring them against Feast, though.
You don't think so?
I don't know, man.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, guys, the winner's interview is ready. Let's find out what HyuN has to say.
Hey, guys. Yeah, he's ready. Actually, I'm here together with Minsik, Rice from SK, and also HyuN from Team Quantic. Nice to have both of you here. It was, I think, in this group, the best game, Quantic, HyuN against MorroW, 2-0. It looked pretty easy. Did he prepare especially for MorroW in this group stage?
저 중에서 MorroW가 제일 유명한 선수였는데 MorroW 뭐 특별히 준비해놓은 거 있는지 해놨는지.
특별히 준비한 건 없고 그냥 평소에 하던 대로 해서 그냥 쉽게 이긴 것 같습니다.
Well, there was nothing that he prepared especially for MorroW. He just played standard and he won easy.
I think most of people expect HyuN and also MorroW to advance in group stage 2. He did top 8 last time, which is a very good result already. He has a higher expectation from himself this time. Is he probably aiming for the first place this time or final?
지난번 DreamHack 스톡홀m에서 너가 8강까지 가서 그 이번에 더 잘할 수 있는지 우승까지 결승까지 갈 수 있는지 자신 있는지.
제가 처음에 드림핵 스톡홀m 처음 출전했을 때 16강이었고 몇 개월 전에는 이제 두 번째였는데 8강이었거든요. 계속 점점 성적이 좋아지고 있는데 이번에는 4강 우승할 수 있도록 열심히 해서 저번엔 또 자만해가지고 제가 졌다고 생각을 하기 때문에 이번에는 자신감은 있대 자만은 없이 플레이하도록 하겠습니다.
The thing is, the first DreamHack that he attended, he made it to round of 16. And a few months back in Stockholm, he made it to round of 8. And this time, he's trying to get into round of 4 and win that as well and show some good results here.
Is there any players he's afraid of, or is there a lot of respect, for example? Some Koreans, probably also some Europeans, probably some friends he doesn't want to meet, for example?
지금 이번 대회에서 누구 겁나는 선수 있는지 안 만나고 싶은 선수 있는지 특별히 누구 있는지.
일단 한국 선수 중에서는 라이프 선수와 스코트 선수가 강력하다고 생각하고 뭐 그 선수들뿐 아니라 한국 선수들은 누가 됐든 강력하다고 생각합니다.
한국 선수 빼고 다른 선수들도 있어?
한국 선수 중에 빼고는 저번 드림핵에서 준우승을 했던 나니아 선수나 강력한 프로토스 선수들이 많거든요. 그렇기 때문에 네, 까다롭다고 생각합니다.
If it's between Koreans, actually, then it is he fears kind of Live and Squirtle because they both are really strong players. But actually, any other Koreans would be hard as well. And then I asked actually, if there are any foreigners that he fears, and he says that Naniwa, who finished second last DreamHack Stockholm, and he's kind of afraid of Protoss. So like he says, other Protoss players who are strong, he's afraid of them.
Okay, we wish him best of luck. Hopefully he doesn't have to play too many Protoss in this tournament. And yeah, let's see what Group Stage 2 brings up for him tomorrow. Thank you.
그냥 고맙다고 그리고 잘하라고.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, man. Good luck tomorrow. You guys stay prepared for more StarCraft 2 action. I've heard it's Feast against Goody coming up very soon. Wow, our German Panzer General is coming very soon. We have a small commercial break, and right after this, we go up with more StarCraft 2 action.